Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor, for those of you who have never been here before, and in today's video we are building a new house for our cottage living Let's Play family. If you watched the last episode, this house is already in the game, but if you haven't actually watched that series at all, this will be completely new to you, and you'll get to learn a little bit about the backstory of the family and a little bit about what's going on there, because there's a lot happening in that series. If you enjoyed this video at any point throughout, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let's jump into the build. So I've been talking for a few days about how I really needed to move this family out of that big house. So if you haven't watched the series, the whole storyline is that the main character, who is Autumn, was married to a woman named Sky. They have a toddler, her name was Willow, and Sky sadly passed away. And then Autumn decided to take Willow and move back to Henford-on-Begley, where she grew up, where she could be with her mom so that Willow could grow up with her grandmother. And unfortunately, her grandmother has now passed away as well. So it's all very tragic, it's all very sad. We also had somebody pass away at a wedding where Willow actually got married to someone named Cecilia, who you know if you've played in Henford-on-Begley, and that wedding did not work out. Cecilia's non-committal, they rushed the wedding, it was just not a good idea, and I really thought that it was time for them to just like start fresh but stay in Henford, kind of like have their own place that felt more like them and less like Jocelyn, because I feel like there's a lot of really sad memories there for Autumn. So we definitely wanted to move here. And I'm really excited about it, to be honest with you. So I do bring the chickens and Sky, the cow. We did name a cow after her dead wife. I think that's a little bit weird, but I'm not mad at it. It was pretty funny. But yeah, I wanted to make a cute little two-story home that just has 2 bedrooms and is way smaller than the one that we were living in before. I think that like the 2 giant living spaces were just too much, and it was too much for this family to take care of, or too much for me to take care of, and I just couldn't do it. So you can see here we have the house. It's kind of like, it's pretty cute. I actually really like how it turned out. I started with a completely different shape and was like, this is not going to function the way that I want it to. And this actually worked out pretty well. And then we do add a little area over for the animals and a little like shrine area for all of the dead people, unfortunately. The joys of The Sims is that Sims are constantly passing away, and it's very sad. It's very sad, but I do love the way that this house turned out overall. I think it's a good mixture between like cottage living stuff and like more modern stuff, because Autumn did spend time in the big city. She kind of like got used to that life a little bit while living with Sky, and then she came back and is like, can I mix the 2 very different aspects of my life? I certainly hope I can. It worked out, I think. But we do add this little area here, and I end up adding some of those vertical planters from Eco Lifestyle to the little front yard area that's fenced in there. I think that actually is super cute, because I don't want to have a bunch of area for gardening. Like, I wanted to do a little bit of gardening, but not like gardening, you know? I don't want it to be just like gardening gone wild. I really wanted to have just like a nice light area for her to garden, which is just vertical planters. They're perfect. Love that. Yeah. We're now dealing with a little dead people area. I still feel really bad that like Derek died at our wedding. I think that that should have been a little bit of a sign from the start that like maybe this wedding wasn't meant to be, if I'm honest. I just think that maybe it wasn't supposed to happen, and it's probably for the best, if I'm honest, and I'm kind of happy that it's like all over now. Cecilia just wasn't the one. Like going into this gameplay, I was like, Cecilia's the one, we're gonna marry her. And then I was like, I don't know. She just doesn't feel right. She doesn't feel like Autumn's forever, and I really want to find that person so badly. I'm such a little weenie, and Willow is growing up. She's growing up so fast, and I'm just so excited. So you can see here we have a little area for the chickens and for the cow, and I really like it. It's pretty small, but they all have enough space to roam, enough space to live, and I really enjoy that. I added a lot of dirt underneath, and we do have like a little path of terrain paint going towards the front of the lot. It always really bugs me that like I can't paint on the exterior areas, because I want it to like continue down that hill, but I can't actually do that. So it just looks kind of weird where it just ends, but it's okay. It's okay. But I really like the whole vibe of this lot. I added a lot of those toddler stuff lights because those are my favorite like little accessory in the game to add to outdoor spaces, because they just like brighten it up and make it look so cute and cozy and happy, and I just like that. But I wanted to add a lot of those flowers just to make it look a little bit overgrown. Like, honestly, Autumn doesn't have a ton of time. She's raising a daughter. She has animals. She's trying to function as a human with the death of her wife, her mom, and the ending of her new marriage. She's going through a lot. She just wants to, like, let the wildflowers run free and see what happens, to be honest with you. And I think that's, like, the perfect way for her to live. But you can see now that we are adding some vertical planters there, and I really like how those look. We end up, like, planting some roses. Oh, just beautiful. And I wanted to get some kind of table outside, but I'll be honest, I kind of hate every single like outdoor eating table. So I just went with like a boring plain picnic table and just left it there. I don't like any of the ones with the umbrellas. They're just not the vibe for me at all. And I'm kind of disappointed in that. I wish we had some cooler ones. But then I'm like, we already have so many outdoor tables. Do we really need another one? I don't know. But anyway, we're moving on to the floor plan now. I wanted to have like a little kitchen area that was pretty small but had an archway so that it felt kind of open, and then a dining area, and then an archway into the living area, as well as a bathroom and an office on the main floor, because I really, really want Autumn to get more into painting. So I wanted her to have an easel because she was a freelance artist when she was living in San Myshuno, and I think that she would just like maybe sell her art on like a selling table, like to the people that live in the world maybe, or sell it on Plopsy, and just like paint for the joy of it more so than for the money, especially because we do have quite a bit of money now after everything that's happened. Since Jocelyn passed away, we got all of her money and her house. When we got married to Cecilia, we got Cecilia's money, and then we got the phone call for the marriage money. So we ended up with quite a bit of money, and I'm not mad at that. Honestly, makes the game a little bit easier, but like, I kind of like to struggle in The Sims, and that's just something that I really enjoy. I don't know why. Struggling in The Sims is like my favorite pastime. But anyway, I wanted to make the whole place kind of have the same color throughout, and I went with that green and brown with like the brown bottom, and I think it ended up being really cute. I really like green. Green just like brings my heart joy. And that's all that matters, is that as long as your heart is happy, nothing else matters. Also, I think I'm gonna end up using that like Smeg, like the fake retro, not fake, the retro looking refrigerator in every build from now on, because I actually had that fridge and I love it. It's so beautiful. I don't have it anymore, but they're so pretty. They look so cool, and they're just like so funky, and I would love to have another one. I rent now, so it doesn't really make sense for me to buy a funky fridge, but chef's kiss, absolutely gorgeous. I love the new kitchen accessories that came with this pack. I do, however, clutter this in a way where none of the counter space was usable, so I do end up changing that. And I like went to try to get Autumn to cook something, and she was like, nope. And I was like, oh, what did I do wrong? Yeah, big mistake, but that's okay. But however, that little teapot, oh, it took me so many tries to like get it into a spot where it looked okay. On the stove, if you put it on the back, it actually is functional. Like you can still cook on the front of it, and there's, you know, stoves look kind of boring, so it's fun to put something on top of them. But yeah, I had to end up switching some stuff around. But if you want this house for whatever reason, it's a little bit like customized to my family and their needs, and has some random tombstones out front. But if you do want this house for your own gameplay, you can find my gallery ID in the description down below. You can go there and find it. It's already uploaded. I made sure to do that because I've gotten some crap in the past for saying, oh, check out my, yeah, I never upload stuff to the gallery. I always forget, so I made sure to do that for you. You're welcome. I don't know, maybe I'm a champion now, maybe I'm the best, I don't know. But anyway, I really wanted to add that picture there where you like walk in and you see that beautiful painting of like the farm situation, because if you've watched the series and you saw the first episode, you know that that was a big reason why she moved back to this town. And it's like, you move in, you walk in the door, you see that, and you're like, I am meant to be here. And Autumn's like, yes, I am meant to be here. This is my future, this is my forever. And I love that. And I just think it like really suits the house. I think it looks cool on that wall. Big fan, big fan. Such a big fan, I'm practically an air conditioner. That's a joke I make to my boyfriend all the time, and he hates it. I make like the dumbest jokes, and it's actually like a lot of fun, and I enjoy it quite a bit because dumb jokes are the best kind of jokes. Anyway, I wanted to make sure that this living room area had a fireplace and a tiny TV, because I feel like Autumn and Willow aren't really TV people. Like, they have a TV, they watch it sometimes, maybe they just like watch the news, but they're not like sit and watch TV people, you know? Autumn likes to paint, Willow's just kind of crazy and does whatever she wants. She just draws pictures, plays with toys, has friends. She got friends in the last episode that I recorded, and I'm so excited. I'm such a little weenie, I love these Sims so much. But I wanted to have like a cute little area where they can hang out, but not really an area that was focused on the TV, so I just got them a tiny one on a little table, and I think that that works perfectly for them. And behind the couch, I wanted to make sure that they had a little area for Willow to just do whatever her little Willow heart desires. I sized down one of the dollhouses, which is actually my favorite thing to do. If you can't find room for a dollhouse in The Sims 4, sizing them down is still functional, so it's not an issue, which is beautiful. And they end up looking pretty good, I think, sized down. I think if they were sized down in the game, they would look a lot better. I think they're way too big as is, but cupcake machine, the microscope thing that goes outside, like the observatory, everything's too big in The Sims 4, so you just kind of go with it at a certain point. I also brought all of Willow's, I always get their names mixed up, but I also brought all of Willow's bedroom stuff from the old house just so that it could feel more familiar, and because, you know, Autumn didn't really feel connected to any of the stuff in her rooms because they were previously decorated. She ended up moving into her dead mom's room with her new wife, which was kind of weird, so I was like, no, we'll just get her some new stuff. And I also made sure to bring the gnomes, because if you watched the episode where Jocelyn passed away, it was Harvest Fest. And the gnomes, like, beamed themselves into her bedroom and watched her die. So I just feel like they're part of the family now, and I have to keep them. And they are all the same gnome, which is kind of funny. So there was just, like, 3 of the same gnomes standing there being like, hey, you're dying, nice to see ya. Do you want to try to make me happy by giving me coffee before you die? No. No. Gnomes are evil, but they're very fun. They're cute. They're very cute. So I made sure to keep all of those because I just thought it was funny. Like, why would the gnomes beam into the room while she's dying? Nobody knows. I don't know. It was pretty weird. I couldn't figure out how to decorate this room because it's kind of a weird shape with the long part at the end. It's just hard. I just find the more I build in The Sims, the more I'm like, am I even good at this? I have no idea. Anyway, we're coming to the end of the video now. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't watched the Cottage Living series up to this point, you should definitely go ahead and do that. I will try to remember to leave a link to the playlist down below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.